things in front of the camera, so I'm going to look in my other. I guess you are seeing most of my face. This will be an interesting day. We're just going to work like this. And at least I don't look so washed out and pale in the light now as I was before. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to type in here. All right. Today, I wanted to start out with a couple odd things. I had trouble. For some reason this week, I wasn't really coming up with the topic to use. And so I'm going to have to get a little bit of tea right now. I've had the heat on so much that it is, Colorado's dry to begin with, and it is just so dry here. So I really was most of the week thinking about what I wanted to do, but not exactly coming up with anything. And I was thinking about the mind mapping we talked about last week and how you get started in design and design thinking. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I am going to show you, though, a couple just odd things. I remember once showing you these erasers, and they didn't fit in the regular pen and or or in the regular pencil, and I thought, okay, I know I had these for a reason, and you can see here that they're short little ones, but they are not quite right to fit in a mechanical pencil. And then I came across this. This is what they go in. It is an eraser stick. And you can see the eraser on the end. It's really sticking out long right now. And I love using this. It's by, let me see if I can get the, oh, there we go. It's by Sanford. And they may still make them, Sanford. And I do love this. And what you do is see this black top here, the top comes off. And I can put my erasers right in there, refill it. Works really well. The other thing I wanted to show you is I've been thinking about my cards and what I want to do with them. I just really am not really into making a small binder for them. I kind of like to pick them out and have them alone or have them beside me. I haven't put holes in this yet in my little samples, but I'm going to put a hole in it and just put rings in there so that if I need a set of them, I can be, flipping them back and forth on the little loose ring and keep them by my chair. And I've been trying to figure out what to put them in. These are the 4x6 ones, which don't fit in recipe card boxes usually. But I just realized this box right here, my Walmart ginger snap box, if I can pull it back here, is going to be just right to fit my cards in. So I'm going to turn that into a box, and then I'll be able to put quite a few different ones in there because it's fairly wide. So I'm going to make that up, and I'll cover the box just like you would the binder cover. So that's another thing, and that's what I'm going to do. Um, haven't done much on my um, little doily trifold here, which I have gotten pictures and I'm going to get them up. I did find the last little piece that I didn't have on there. That is the what does it say? Oh, self-closing mock ring and the elements you can do. But my diagram hasn't changed, and I haven't put um, any of the lines going to the different things. I did look and realize that I want chains, and I decided I wanted to really emphasize the arc shape. Um, this arc shape. Whoops, I still can't get used to it. This arc shape right here. And so I have been working on my computer and have come up with this. I hope I can get in here close. Okay, this is it. You can see I'm still going to use the ring and the thrown ring right on top of it, the doubles that I had before. And but on both above the three rings, I'm going to have two chains right close together. And above the two rings, I'm also going to have two chains, one right on top of each other, to really emphasize that shape I like. I don't know at this point, I can't decide what might go good with those two rings or whether to just leave them plain. And I'm almost feeling like I'm ready to go on to something else. And this is the end of my design, and I'll do something just with this design as it is. So that's where I'm at. I've been kind of working on top, and I turned my work over. You know what? I'm going to put this against one of the cards. I don't know if you can see that right there's one chain, and on the other side, I've got on this side right there, I've got two chains, one right above another. It's not holding down well. There you can see the two chains right above each other right there. One's green and one's right above it. And it's the red one and then the one that starts red and turns green. The other thing I've been debating is whether I like that bright color green in the center against the dark. I wasn't sure. It's not a lighter shade of the dark green exactly. It's a little different, got more yellow in it. But I think I'm going to like the contrast and I'm going to leave it like that. And when I get done with those rows, I might just put it into a ring, I think. Thanks, Kathy. Thank you, Katia. Um, yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. But I think I need my mind, all this snow we've been getting, I'm really looking forward to a change, to spring, to a new start. And I know a lot of you are not doing the doily. So I want to talk about getting started with something new or finishing something you've started before. How many of you are going to? I know some of you will keep working on the doily. And if you have any design questions, ask them here. I'd love to know how it's going. I do read what you're putting in the Facebook group. So it looks like we've got a lot of good designs coming about. So today I got to thinking about starting, and when you're designing, your mindset is a huge part. And I've talked about the design process before and the steps. We haven't reviewed that for a while, I don't think. And I'm not sure if this, I didn't realize I'm getting so close to the camera. I'm not sure that I've talked about it in this session. Thanks, Janella. Yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I think it's going to work. I am having a problem. I don't quite know how I'm getting from one round to another yet. That's going to be my next step. And I'm also, for those of you who are in the Inkscape class, you can see I've started getting some numbers. I did have them right on the diagram, and I moved them off to the side to build that last row. So, but coming from here in these, I'm just not sure when my chains come. Whoops, I go the wrong way. How and where I'm going to come out to go up to another round if I make it. So that's something I have to think about. Okay, how many of you, if you're not going to be doing the doily, have anything else, a design that you've started, or are you starting right from scratch? And if are you like me? I know you're not all in the same season we are here in the US. We're coming up to springtime. In fact, I talked to my brother, he's down in Texas, and he said his plum tree is just starting to blossom all out. That he just planted it 2 years ago. So split ring maybe. Oh, to come out, yes. Um, so far, I've only got one split ring in it, but that's a good. I think though I'm going to have to maybe go because of the way the chains come out. I'm going to have to go to split chains. I think that may be the way I'm going to have to go. So I'm at that um, part in the process where I have to look at it and think about it and play. I'm going to start playing with it on paper too, because for some reason, um, it's easier for me to design and sketch on paper rather than on the computer. I like what I've gotten in the computer, but I'm going to have to now go back to some pen and pencil. You found potato plants in your compost pile. I love that. Oh, sounds like spring is coming there. New growth. That's new growth, new starts, and your attitude is such a huge part of it. You need to think positively and with an attitude of adventure and experiment. Designs just don't happen overnight. It takes a lot of experimenting, a lot of little samples, a lot of going back in the design process and going through the steps again. And I will be getting those up. My website is still in the process. Um, and so, what I'm thinking about doing, I've really been thinking a lot about remember my little birds that I was working on? This version, I put a flower around his eye because I'm thinking um, of spring, and this one doesn't. This has almost got a paisley shape around the beak. And neither of these are the ones I actually started with. I can't actually find my um, actual sample of the bird helper I've gotten. I've been thinking about the daisies and doing a set of animals because of this design that I designed quite a few years ago. My little little blossom lamb. And I thought I want to make this into a set of animals. Here you can see I used a lot of split rings coming out of it. I actually taught this in Hector, New York. Um, Fringe Element, and what is the other group? The Tatters. Carrie Solomon does the get together. I've got split chains down on the feet too. And here you can see how I put the numbers in. And sometimes you have to use a really, really small type. And when you're diagramming, note where you start. I've just used an S and an arrow. Notice I have on the long chains to get them to switch direction. I've put reverse work right on the diagram to just help guide people through. And so those are things to think about when you're diagramming. And next week, I want to talk about like adding your, let's see if I can find a page that has that. Oh, here we go. Setting up. In this class, I'm going to go into Word because I don't know how many people have worked with, I know at least one person said they've never worked with tables before in Word. Finger Lakes, that was it, Vanilla. Thank you. Oh, I'm looking forward to air conditioner weather. Patty, you're back to winter, yep. Um, but one of the things that comes up is when you're putting in your symbols or your legend and all, in order to get columns don't work well in Word. And so I always use tables. And she asked if I could do that uh, as a class, how to use your Word for making like this table with the symbols and all. And I usually have an abbreviation one. I don't know if I put that in. Oh, here's my little legend that shows um, like my start, and I've numbered the shuttles. So that's something we'll be talking about next week. So as the week goes on, think about patterns you've used and what maybe you would have liked on the pattern, what you'd like to see more of. I have even, and I did this particularly because it was a class that I taught, but I think for any pattern, although they might go out of, like I put on the web links for some of the techniques and where I got them from. And those will obviously, some of them don't work anymore. So putting them on a pattern could be a problem. But I've already also put books. Books never changed because these are two books that I used in my bibliography. And I'm thinking I might start putting that on patterns from now on. I think that tatters, they want a pattern, but they also are interested in learning more about a particular technique. And I'm going to go back to talking about springtime. Anybody have any thoughts come to mind when I mentioned starting a project and the change of seasons? Is anything coming to mind? Because this is going to be a homework assignment. And I want you to, in the next week before class, write down any little odds and ends of thoughts that pop up. Or, if you see something and you think, boy, that might be nice in tatting, you don't have to do it, but start a list like that of things you see and what about them attracts you to it. Um, like when you're thinking colors, look at, besides looking in nature outside, look at your wardrobe, look at your towels, look at the colors you pick. And do you pick more organic things or do you pick more geometric things. Start putting down what you kind of like. Now, I do have some handouts that we can put some of those things and do some of those things on that are going to be uh, coming out. I'm not sure when. We'll just have to see how things go. But just a kind of a brainstorming list. If you want to, if you're like me, I bought a 3-pack of uh, of 100 cards each of the index cards. I have lots of index cards. If you do too, start writing some notes on there. You might, just label the top springtime or this season or that thought and start putting them down. Anything that comes to mind, even if it's a crazy idea. Crazy ideas are where a lot of good designs come from. Inventions. I mean, you are creative. Everyone is creative. We are not all of us are born with a capacity. Obviously, there are disabilities and things. But if you've even changed an ingredient in a pattern, I mean, in a recipe, that's a creative idea. If you've ever, you've got something broken, you go think, how can I fix this? Those are all creative things, and we do them from the time we're an infant. And but we aren't taught that those things are important. And we get to going to school and all, and some of those things, those skills that we could develop, get kind of lost in the background as we focus in on what often we feel we're supposed to do, or something like that. Are there any questions or comments so far about this? Anything that comes to mind? When you do this, words, phrases, doesn't have to be sentences or a paragraph, words, phrases, any little thing, jot it down. And I'd like to know what topics you would like me to go over next. Like I said, we'll look at instructions next week. Does anybody have an idea, thought of what would you like to make? If you had to pick something right now, what do you think you'd make? And think about Jane's Tatting MC projects. A lot of us, when we see them, the beginnings, will think, oh, I bet it's going to be that, or I bet it's going to be that. Follow through on that. Do a quick little sketches, don't have to be even understandable to anyone else but you. Jot down a little sample of what you think that piece looks like and is going to become. Maybe it can be become your next design. Anybody thinking anything? I know I'm thinking new animals, baby animals, butterflies, of course, are always fun, and people always love them. What would you like to find a pattern on? Sometimes do you think, I wish I could find a pattern of this or that? You need to follow through and think about that as a design idea. And I'm hoping that everyone in here, I know a lot of um, students, and some of you come just to find out what design's about. Some of you come because you want to design right now and learn how. Some of you come because eventually you're going to want to design. Well, why eventually? Why some other time? If you're taking the time to come to class, or if you are watching this video on the replay, you're spending time doing this and thinking about it. Why don't you start with 5 minutes and jot down one idea? Sometimes I find if I just let free flow, let your mind flow. That's a technique that I've always done it. And designers do tend to be people who daydream. You might see pictures in the clouds. You have to create a beginner needle pattern for a workshop. Oh, for August. Oh, that's good. That's a good topic. What is beginner and what's not? Your niece is having a baby in April. It will be a little girl. You want to tap something for the new baby. Oh, wow. Two great ideas. You don't have much time before April, so um, it'll probably be something smaller that you're going to tat, unless you tat a lot every day and have time to do something. Both of those are great. And Katia, beginner needle pattern. Wow. I really don't work with needle, but anything you can do with any ideas that you could do with shuttle tatting, you can usually do, as far as I know, with a needle. You just need to know the workarounds for things. Gardening on the brain, Kathy. You'd like to have something with that in mind. That's a wonderful idea. Um, so, already for today, you've got things to jot down. And I, like I said, use the index cards or get one of the things I use a lot are just those cheap composition books. Um, and that is a good way to keep track of things. It's always good to have, which I don't have in mine usually. Let me show you one. This is one, it's not for tatting. Uh, this is something I learned from, I used to do a lot of art journaling. And this was our quarterly planning for 3 months at a time. And I covered it with a painted a napkin that had a lot of paint stuff on it, and then used some of my what's the tape called? I'm losing words lately. Anyway, and they're nice, big lines. You can put whatever you want on them. I usually have pictures with them and jottings of all kinds of things, and like even whoops, I have my computer on the thing and it fell over. This is my inside page. It even has a calendar on it and things that I want to accomplish. Not that I ever did them. This was back in 2019. Washi tape, yes, thank you. Yeah, I think a butterfly would be a nice needle pattern. I don't know if I've seen a needle pattern that. And as far as writing it out, of course, Corolla is always a good one for those. I think she's written some. And ask Pam. Pam's going to be starting her needle classes, I believe, sometime soon. Tatting workshop, having them making true ring butterfly. Now they need to be learning chain. Okay. And maybe hiding ends. Yep. That's the one thing quite a few years ago. Melanie um, survey and I were talking about putting together a class about teaching, and that never did get done. I've learned a lot about teaching in all my teaching. For those of you who don't know, I used to teach multimedia technology at a community college, Front Range Community College here in Colorado. And so I've taken a lot of teaching and learning and classes like that. And of course, the way I've set up my own classes when I was doing them. So if anybody's interested, let me know. Sounds good. So we've got ideas coming out. Um, Another thing is for ideas is, let me see if I can get this scribble. Have you ever worked with a scribble, like with painting or coloring or anything, and you turn it all around and look to see what you see in it? That can be a fun way. And years ago, and I never followed through on it, um, Ruth Perry sent me just a line squiggle. It wasn't more than 2 inches long, I don't think, or three, and asked me, what can you make out of this? Well, unfortunately, I didn't follow through and make anything out of it. But so when you're tatting, a nice thing to do for samples is just tat a small piece. You remember the lamb I showed you? Well, this is a piece. Well, maybe I wish I had my down shot now with my darker color. I'm going to put black behind this. That's my lamb's ear. And I just love the shape of it. And I always keep thinking I want to use it for something else sometime. It's got the clover and then direction changes for that little ear. It's not upright, but anyway, it was an ear when it's tilted upside down. Just make some things like that. Make some odd shapes and see what it starts looking like. See what it turns out like. Okay, Kathy, I think it'd be great too. Here's something I did quite a while ago. I love, it's just like a sharp Sharpie, ultra fine. And it was just a scribble to begin with. And I was learning about neurographic design. And I think maybe a lot of you can see that I took that idea and put it into this squiggle. And let's see if I got it. Can you see any shapes in there? Anything that it looks like? I love to just doodle when I don't have time. I'm wondering if it's the other way around that looks more like. There we go. That's the way it looks to me, like something. Does it look like anything to you? Put down any of your guesses if you see what I see in here or something else. Oh, I think I see almost a snail in there. You see vegetables. Oh, I love that. Right there, what's right in the picture right now, I see a woman sitting down and her back is kind of bent and she's looking down at something, filling in all these intersections, like, I get my finger over there. Here we go. Like this, filling in these intersections and all. That's the neurographic drawing type. It's a style. And doesn't it remind you of nerves and all the little nerve thingies that go out? Internal organ, some sort of lizard. Yeah, yeah. I think there's a lizard in there. So these are all the ideas for inspiration. If you don't feel like tatting, sit down with pen and paper and just play with lines. It it is so relaxing for most people. Um, it's considered a technique. Amy Miracle, I follow her. She does a slow drawing class every week. Um, it's kind of a work along with her, and she's even written a book on slow drawing that I think is selling quite well. I think, let me see if I've gotten through most of the things. Oh, if you do just start tatting chains, think about the turns you would want and how you do them. I do a technique similar to when you work on a folded ring. Um, and get a curve, a sharp curve, or make a corner, make a ring, or just do a huge spiral chain and let it float around. And sometimes, like with your doily, one of the things that artists do is step back, set your piece down. Oh, who did I say? Amy Miracle. It's Mindful Art Studio, I think, believe is the name of it, for the slow drawing. Oh, and she does drawing with she combines it with um, watercolor a lot too. Who is the slow drawing? Yes, that is. Let me just pull it up here. Whoops, I just wanted to go to Facebook here. Let me see if I've got her in my mindful art right there. She does a lot of organic patterns. This is all just little circles and lines. Um, but here, see the lines with the dots in it? And a lot of times what this could be is her fluid art. And she does inchies every year. And I know some other um, types of artistic, needlework or quilting or whatever. Well, not quilting, but they do inchies. They're either 1 or 2 inch squares that you put something in. She uses them now for her slow drawing, but this is one of her things. And this is something that is just so fun to do and so relaxing if you do have paint and pens. Um, I was excited because I just got a new box, and I don't know where it is, of black markers. This right here, these lines and little squiggles. Here's another type of her patterns. It looks similar to what a lot of other people do too. She does a lot of things just like this. And she makes the cutest books. I don't know if any of them, let me see if I can. Yeah, there she is with her notebooks. She does paper cutting too. All these slow type things. Anyway, I just want to close this. Let's see what else I wrote down. I think I've just about covered everything. I want to show you another thing if you doodle. Now, I've been doodling for years. And let's see if I can find. Oh, here's one of those I did. I kind of see a bird in that one, or a butterfly or whatever. I just play around with doodles. I want to get more things like this. I think tatting needs more things, and they do it in needlework, where you'll see a simple outline, and then each space is filled with a different type stitch. Like you might put mignonette in one of them, or just obviously these could just be joined. These would probably be shaped chains. And here, repetition of a shape in the center, and again, the outside edge of it. These would all be joins that you see. Oh, this guy, I think I want to do birds for springtime. And I was just playing around. Where did he go? And I got this guy. And I'd forgotten about him when we talked about fantasy creatures. And this little guy is definitely going to become a fantasy creature. That's a little look into my process. Oh, here's some of the just plain neurological drawing. It's usually got just lines, and you can put a few other things in, like the circles. But it's usually just lines that, curvy lines that intersect. But it can be anything. Here's a butterfly that someday I want to tap. This one right here. But I have to finish my birdie first. So I mentioned homework. Start yourself a little collection of ideas, just ideas. And I think that's it for today. I want to get you inspired to try something. Even if you do like an inchy tatting, just a little 1 inch piece. Start a collection of those, like exactly what Tammy's talking about, only instead of just stitches or techniques or like those samples, make design samples. They'll always come in helpful. Note down and I do have a worksheet for that too. I got to get all these out for listing what do you like about it. To find your own style, look in your closet. Your colors are in your closet, in your house. Um, Start finding what patterns are you drawn to. Um, so anyway, that's about it for today, and I hope you enjoyed just our little talk on designing. And any suggestions for topics coming up? Is there a particular part of designing that you want to have emphasized or talk about? Or hopefully you'll each start a new design if you're not doing the doily, or maybe you need a break from the doily sometimes and work on something else on the side. Every little step counts. If you only put in 5 minutes, those 5 minutes add up. And always that thing that always makes me think of the moonwalk, the first steps on the moon. And all you have to do is take that one step for designing. No questions, no comments. I hope you at least enjoyed the discussion today. So, and if you do, please like it. I am working to make sure all my videos are up. I've been really slow in getting a lot of things done, so hopefully I'll pick up speed now that I'm in the mood for a new start to get ready for spring. Well, if there's nothing else, you're welcome. If there's nothing else, I will see you next week. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really like knowing what you enjoy, and you know, if you think I cover over the same things too much or whatever, you're all welcome. Probably in your time zone, yes, because it's at 6:30 my time zone, which is mountain time. So, and tonight I think we're going to mostly do just tips and hints and things that maybe I didn't mention that I know help, maybe some things you're doing. So already. So we'll see you tonight or next week. Bye bye for now.